Ever thought about how the big tech giants are shaping our lives and how that makes them have more power than we realize? And well, many don't know this, but they have been keeping secrets from us and pulling the strings on us, all by using the very device we're holding in our hands right now. Yes, we're talking about our mobile phones. And now, we think it's time to uncover all that they're hiding and controlling, from hidden data collection to controlling what we see and hear. The grip of big tech is tightening around our smartphones. So, without further ado, let's dive in through the list of 10 things big tech doesn't want you to know about your smartphones. Starting off with how our smartphones are designed to fail. And mind you, it's not because they're worn out or outdated, but because of a sneaky business strategy called planned obsolescence. Let's break it down for you. High repair costs, like expensive screen replacements, often make buying a new device more appealing. Genuine parts can be hard to come by, forcing users into purchasing a brand new phone instead. Short warranties and clever marketing tactics add to the list. These planned obsolescence tactics also involve intentional failures built into the software or hardware of your beloved device. Take Apple for example. They've faced accusations of deliberately slowing down iPhones through the software updates. At the second spot, let's discuss how they're actually diminishing our quality of life. So, when it comes to using smartphones, there are two modes. First, that's called conscious or aware mode. Then there is unconscious or unaware mode. And you see, there's a difference between us using the technology and the technology using us. And sadly, excessive smartphone use in the unaware mode has been linked to a decline in our quality of life. It's even backed up by research that it leads to diminished positive feelings, decreased competence, and impaired overall functioning. It's concerning because the impact of excessive smartphone usage, like take Gen Z for example. So, remember how the release of the iPhone in 2007 transformed how they spend their time? Instead of hanging out with friends, dating, or even getting enough sleep, teenagers now find themselves feeling lonelier and more isolated. Next up is the fact that these smartphone apps are intentionally made addictive, especially social media apps. So, have you ever thought why you can't resist checking your phone multiple times a day? It's not entirely your fault. These devices are engineered to grab and hold our attention, especially the social media apps. We just spend hours mindlessly scrolling through, watching reels, and not realizing that we're hooked. What we don't know is that these addictive features are so smartly integrated into these apps and how it's all carefully designed to never get tired of it and make us crave more. They want to keep us engaged because the more time we spend on their apps, the more money they'll make. And well, like all addictions, this too affects our productivity, relationships, and overall well being. It's no wonder that experts have linked excessive smartphone usage to decreased mental health, decreased focus, and even sleep disturbance. And now let's talk about a smartphone that is actually a surveillance device. You know, governments like US, Poland, Hungary, Greece, and Spain have been caught using smartphone surveillances to monitor their citizens. Dissenting journalists, NGOs, activists fighting for causes, they all become targets of this digital spying. Well, yes, it's shocking, but it's true. The smartphone surveillance has been used for so many years now to gather data for smear campaigns, cover up corruption, and become personal tracking devices, making it easy for authorities to identify and track individuals involved in social movements. And up next is something that we all already know but don't pay much attention to. Smartphones are bad for our eyes. And according to the Vision Council, almost 80% of Americans spend more than 2 hours a day glued to their screen. And a good 59% suffer from digital eye strain. You see, all that screen time can actually damage your eyes, leading to serious eye conditions like age-related macular degeneration, cataracts, eye cancer, and even growths on the whites of your eyes. And to make matters worse, staring at screens often lead to reduced blinking, causing dry eyes and those pesky headaches. Next up, we're going to talk about how they affect our mental health as well. So we discussed that how smartphones make us more stressed and tired, but the mental toll of smartphone use goes beyond that. It disrupts our sleep patterns, making it harder for us to get those precious Z's. And let's not forget about cyberbullying, emotional dysregulation, depression, anxiety, impaired cognitive function, low self-esteem, and even social avoidance. About time we ask ourselves a few questions like, are we truly finding a balance in our digital lives? Are we prioritizing our mental health? Well, these were just some effects on your mental health, but now let's see how it can actually physically hurt you. And no, it's not just about the eye strain. Remember how that blue light we talked about earlier? Well, that can also mess up with our cardiac rhythms, which can contribute to some serious health issues like obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and even cancer. And that results in early aging and wrinkles. And as we all know, that our phones emit harmful frequencies that have been known to interfere with neurological tissues and ultimately affect our cognition. Speaking of hurting, we all know how and where these smartphones are assembled. Take Foxconn in China, for example, where big players like Apple and Sony get their phones made. The workers there endure unimaginable hardships. They are underpaid, struggling to make ends meet when working overtime. And oftentimes, their overtime hours go unpaid as a form of punishment for not meeting strict quotas. And it's not just limited to China. Brands like Samsung have sweatshops in Vietnam, where miscarriages and suicides have become so common in the female workforce. And it's not even the assembling that's bad. African children die of mining cobalt batteries. More than half of the world's cobalt supply, which is essential for smartphone batteries, come from hand dug mines in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where tens of thousands of children, some as young as 7 years old, toil away in these mines, earning less than $2 a day. These kids work up to 12 hours a day, carrying heavy loads, inhaling toxic dust, and suffering from debilitating skin diseases deep underground. All these big smartphone brands claim to be against child labor, but sadly, their growth and success are closely tied to it. And finally, let's talk about how it's adding to our carbon footprint as well. It's no secret that the production and disposal of smartphones contribute to our carbon footprint. The extraction of raw materials, manufacturing processes, electronic waste also takes its toll on the environment. The carbon footprint of smartphones go beyond just emissions. Let's take bees for example. These incredible pollinators rely on the Earth's magnetic field for navigation. Just a mere 10 minutes of exposure to cell phone electromagnetic fields for 10 days can cause bees to lose their way back to their hives. Well, so with that, it's a wrap on our video of 10 things that big tech doesn't want you to know about your smartphones. We hope this information will help you become more cautious and mindful of how you use these devices and not be used by them. If you like this video, give us a big thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on our future content. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.